breaking news about the cast of the new Jurassic World film, initial information about the start of production on Spider-Man 4, and a straightforward announcement from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean 6. This and much more awaits you now in the KinoCheck news. It's finally getting serious. With box office takings of almost $2 billion, Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the most successful Marvel movies ever. But not only that, the movie was also of great importance for the current phases of the MCU in terms of content. For a long time, fans were left wondering whether there would be another part at all. Now though, there are more and more signs of a sequel. This is because, according to some Hollywood insiders, above all Jeff Snyder, Spider-Man 4 is already in a key phase of pre-production and is set to begin filming this fall. One important aspect is still to be resolved, however, namely the director's position. As has already been announced, Jon Watts, who directed the previous Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, will no longer be part of the team for scheduling reasons. Instead, Fast and Furious veteran Justin Lin and Bad Times at the El Royale director Drew Goddard are two promising candidates in the running for the director's job. Goddard was even able to gain some experience in the Spider-Man world as he once developed a Sinister Six film. The film was scrapped, however. So far, nothing is known about the story of Spider-Man 4. Most recently, internal discussions have emerged as to whether the plot should be more down-to-earth or go in the direction of a multiverse adventure. Many are hoping for a clash with Venom at last, but a connection with Kraven the Hunter is also a possibility. Kraven's solo film will be released this August. Snyder also reported that Zendaya will reprise her role as MJ, a reason for all Marvel fans to celebrate. But fans of the successful HBO series Euphoria will have to come to terms with less positive news. According to Variety, the production of Season 3 has now been pushed back for the time being. This means that the cast of Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, and Jacob Elordi can now commit to other projects, an indication that Zendaya may be busy with Spider-Man 4. With the ending of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was clear that Anthony Mackie, aka Sam Wilson, would become the new Captain America. Fans then speculated whether Bucky Barnes and Baron Zemo would also play a role in Captain America's newest adventure, but Mackie denied all speculation. In an interview with Big RT, the actor expressed his disappointment that no further season of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is being considered. What's more, both Daniel Bruhl and Sebastian Stan will not be making an appearance in Captain America 4: Brave New World. Some fans are likely to be bitterly upset about this, as the series, released on Disney Plus, had some memorable moments for the trio. Mackie described Marvel's decision to bring Captain America back to the movies without the involvement of his friends as a big dampener. In addition to Anthony Mackie, Liv Tyler, Tim Blake Nelson, and Harrison Ford will also be seen in the hero's next adventure. We are curious whether Captain America: Brave New World can still convince us without the participation of Bruhl and Stan. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters on February 14, 2025. Set sail for a new beginning. After much talk about the future of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, we now have certainty. The new movie will be a reboot. This was announced by producer Jerry Bruckheimer in an interview with comicbook.com. According to Bruckheimer, we are in for a full reboot of the Pirates franchise, with new ideas and new characters. What that actually means remains to be seen. After all, a rumor recently made the rounds that Disney was apparently looking to bring Johnny Depp back for a supporting role in Pirates of the Caribbean 6. In the context of reorientation, this wouldn't make much sense though. If any character is the flagship of the old series, it's Captain Jack Sparrow. However, there does seem to be a consensus regarding the script. It's still to be written by The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin in collaboration with Ted Elliott. In spite of the many different ideas and approaches, the common thread seems to have not really been found yet, because the spin-off with Margot Robbie that was initially planned years ago is not completely off the cards yet either. We'll keep you up to date, as always. The dinosaur sequel, Jurassic World 4, is taking shape, having already found a competent director for the project with the creator-maker Gareth Edwards. There now also seems to be a lot happening when it comes to the cast. Earlier this year, it was announced that Universal Pictures would be taking a totally different approach to its predecessors with Jurassic World 4, including a new cast and a new director. This means that the franchise's familiar faces will probably not be returning. In other words, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Jeff Goldblum are unlikely to be involved. This plan now seems to have been implemented. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Scarlett Johansson is said to be in talks with the studio. Johansson is regarded as one of the most sought-after actresses in Hollywood and has been impressive in major blockbusters, such as the Marvel movies, as well as smaller productions like Marriage Story and Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit. Jurassic World 4 is set to be released on July 2, 2025 already, so production on the blockbuster is expected to begin in the coming months. In the name of God, fans of the McManus twins have reason to rejoice, because 15 years after Part 2, another sequel to the Boondock Saints is finally in the works, for which Sean Patrick Flanery and Norman Reedus will return. At the end of the 90s, the enlightened McManus brothers took the law into their own hands in the Boondock Saints and cleaned up the underworld of South Boston. The popularity of the ironic crime series remains unbroken to this day, even if it did suffer a minor setback in the 2009 sequel, The Boondock Saints 2. Nevertheless, fans should be thrilled by the announcement that Part 3 is now officially in development. According to Deadline, the John Wick studio Thunder Road is to provide a new twist for the series. It has also been announced that Sean Patrick Flanery and Norman Reedus will be back in their familiar roles. When it comes to directing, however, a few things are changing. Creator Troy Duffy will no longer be directing Part 3. Instead, the team is currently looking for a new director to give the necessary impetus. But we won't have to do without Duffy completely, as he is already working on a series of new books that could potentially serve as the basis for further films. Initial information suggests that the trigger-happy brothers will not only provide law and order in the sequel, but also train a new generation of new saints. We can't wait to find out more. Time for a new coup. The likable gang of criminals around leader Mr. Wolf sets off on a new mission in the late summer of 2025. With global box office takings of $250 million, Universal's animated adventure, The Bad Guys, was a little of a surprise success and was also well received by fans of the original children's book series. So it's no wonder that they plan on expanding the world around the popular characters. After a short film with the title The Bad Guys: A Very Bad Holiday was released on Netflix in December of last year, the sequel to the main story is set to be released on August 1, 2025. As reported by Deadline, the animal outlaws in The Bad Guys 2 will be up against a squad of female criminals this time around. The voice cast from Part 1 will be back, of course, as will director Pierre Perifel. The film score will once again be provided by Oscar-nominated composer Daniel Pemberton. At the end of the 1960s, Roger Vadim directed an erotic comedy called Barbarella, which is still very popular among fans of the genre today. Up-and-coming star Sydney Sweeney appears to be among these fans, as she will be playing the space agent in a remake. About 2 years ago, Sony Pictures first announced that a remake of Barbarella was being worked on, and that Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney would be involved in the project as a producer in addition to her role as the leading actress. Recently, on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, Sweeney revealed her passion for the character and stressed how excited she was to get to explore the role. She praised Barbarella's unconventional approach to using her feminine charms as a weapon to stand up to her male opponents. She also mentioned that she had always wanted to work in science fiction one day. However, the actress did not want to comment on the director's position. Before, rumors were circulating that the remake could possibly be directed by Baby Driver director Edgar Wright. In a previous interview with GQ, Sweeney also emphasized that her involvement in Sony's Madame Web was purely strategic. This allowed her to build relationships with Sony and ultimately secure the projects Anyone But You and Barbarella. And that's all we have for today. But it doesn't have to stop here. We've taken a look at 2 movies set for release next year, namely one concerning the anti-hero Spawn, as well as Disney's Moana live-action remake. Make sure to check out our movie previews if you want to learn more. Also, let us know what you think of this week's news in the comments down below. We look forward to reading them every day. Thanks for watching and have a happy Easter.